Mark's Gospel was written between 65 to 70 AD after Nero's persecutions in Jerusalem and the destruction of the Jewish temple. Mark's Gospel is the first to be written, and his source comes from oral tradition, and he wrote to Gentile Christians who were being persecuted in Rome and Jerusalem. Mark's Gospel has three common themes, which are geography, the suffering servant, and the messianic secret. The suffering servant comes from the fact that Jesus is shown as human and wants to help other people realize that it is okay to suffer, and following him requires suffering. Geography shows how Jesus is always on the move and in a hurry, just doing stuff all the time. And the messianic secret just shows how Jesus was very humble and wanted to hide his identity and not be a public figure and a popular figure, but just on the down low.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. Let me tell you about the Gospel of Matthew. Contrary to popular belief, the Gospel of Matthew was not the first Gospel written. It was actually the second Gospel written after Mark. It was thought to be the first Gospel written because it was so well organized. The Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Mark contain about 80% of the same material. The Gospel of Matthew was written in the 80s by a Jewish Christian scribe, but the author is not known. The Gospel of Matthew portrays Jesus as the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies to convince the Jewish people that he was the Messiah. The Gospel of Matthew also explains a new law of love that Jesus wanted to implement.
The author of Luke shows Jesus as reaching out to the poor and the outcasts, like women or sick people, like lepers and tax collectors and stuff like that. The author of Luke was also the author of Acts of the Apostles, and it was the Gospel of Luke was the third Gospel written, but the author of Luke was not an eyewitness to Jesus. The Gospel of Luke puts a special emphasis on women and shows Jesus as mostly doing miracles. Like the Gospel of Luke is mostly just Jesus doing miracles over and over. It was written for Gentile Christians who weren't being persecuted, but yeah.
Hey there! What do you know about the Gospel of John? Well, let me teach you. The Gospel of John was written between 90 and 100 AD as Jewish Christians were being expelled from the synagogues. John did this to combat false ideas that have been circulating about Jesus. John's focus is on Christology from above, descending Christology, and this is all about Jesus' divinity and spirituality. John also uses a lot of poetic devices such as metaphors, similes, irony, etc., etc. He also talks about love a lot. He talks about 3 different types of love, and the most common type that he talks about is agape. He talks about agape love more than 90% of the time, and the word love is used 40 times throughout the Gospel. What do you know about the Gospels?
Hey girls, I love Christology, Jesus, and Ms. Ralph.